On June 11th, the global media landscape reported a sudden, abrupt halt to the escalating conflict between Washington and Tehran. The narrative broadcast to the world was clear. A massive, highly anticipated third wave of kinetic airstrikes was called off at the 11th hour. To the untrained eye, this appears to be a classic diplomatic climb down. A moment of operational hesitation or political second-guessing. But in the realm of geospatial intelligence and asymmetric warfare, this is a textbook execution of reflexive control. This doctrine does not seek to crush an enemy physically. It seeks to feed them a specific vector of information so compelling that they voluntarily alter their behavior in accordance with your goals. By ensuring the world, and Tehran, knew the bombers were fully loaded and the tracking systems were active before they were intentionally halted. Washington shifted the psychological gravity of the entire theater without launching a single missile. The message was sent: we can touch you at any second, and you cannot stop it. The pause was not a sign of weakness. It was the deployment of an invisible weapon. To locate the true center of gravity in this standoff, we must look away from the missile silos of southern Iran and focus entirely on a tiny speck of land in the northern Persian Gulf. Kharg Island. This infrastructure hub is the absolute lifeblood of the Iranian state, processing and routing over 90% of the country's crude oil exports. It is the economic lung of the regime. If Western forces launch a purely kinetic strike and reduce Kharg to rubble, the immediate economic damage is catastrophic, but the strategic leverage is instantly destroyed. An adversary with nothing left to lose is an adversary completely unmoored. If Kharg is destroyed, Tehran has no reason not to mine the Strait of Hormuz completely, trigger regional multi-front escalation, and force a global supply chain collapse. The genius of the secret ultimatum delivered during the backchannel negotiations lies in the shift from destruction to seizure. The threat to physically occupy and assume operational control of Iran's energy assets leaves the infrastructure intact. It preserves global market stability while imposing a total, permanent financial blackout on the regime. Confronted with the choice between immediate systemic collapse or temporary compliance via backchannel, the highest tier of leadership had no choice but to blink. The island is worth more to Washington intact and held hostage than it is in ruins. By threatening an operational takeover rather than demolition, the U.S. leaves the asset's value intact, but shifts the keys. This forces Iran's leadership to choose between temporary ideological compliance or absolute permanent economic bankruptcy. The kinetic war didn't stop because of a diplomatic breakthrough. It stopped because a financial gun was held directly to the regime's head. While the strategic threat to Kharg Island was a dominant factor in the diplomatic pause, an immediate tactical crisis on the western side of the Gulf played an equally decisive role. Following the second wave of U.S. airstrikes, Tehran expanded its target grid inland, demonstrating that Western host nation infrastructure resides permanently within what analysts call the splash zone. Massive salvos of low-altitude loitering munitions, cruise missiles, and high-speed ballistic missiles directly targeted Allied logistics nodes and airfields across the region, specifically focusing on Ali Al Salem Air Base in Kuwait and the naval support activity in Bahrain. Despite high combat intercept efficiencies from regional Patriot PAC-3 and THAAD batteries, local authorities confirmed civilian casualties and structural damage inside Kuwait. This was not due to system failures, but rather the brutal reality of kinetic saturation. When salvos scale into the hundreds, falling missile debris and terminal phase leakage are mathematically inevitable. This kinetic fallout immediately triggered immense political friction within the Gulf Cooperation Council. Host nation defense ministries privately pressured Washington to halt offensive operations launched from their territory, fearing complete urban infrastructure destruction if Iran escalated to its secondary, heavier missile tiers. Therefore, the cancellation of the third wave was an absolute operational necessity. It bought Central Command a critical window of time to preserve the coalition. This pause allows logistics teams the rapid, unhindered opportunity to reposition integrated air defense assets, specifically clustering supplementary point defense layers around vulnerable civilian desalination plants, power grids, and forward operating bases before the next inevitable cycle of escalation begins. Washington fundamentally needed to patch its armor and calm its regional partners before resuming the fight. The intercept math was clear. A 98% success rate is an administrative victory, but that remaining 2% leakage represents a catastrophic political liability when population centers are targeted. But do not mistake this operational pause for a genuine diplomatic resolution. While the kinetic chess pieces are held in place across the Persian Gulf, a secondary, highly coordinated diplomatic offensive has just been triggered simultaneously in Vienna. The Western Quad, comprising the United States, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, has officially submitted a severe, punitive censure resolution to the International Atomic Energy Agency's Board of Governors. This is the second jaw of the Pincer trap. The public cancellation of the third wave of airstrikes stripped Tehran of its immediate military justification for total escalation, effectively neutralizing their state narrative of defensive retaliation. Concurrently, this legal maneuver forces them into an inescapable architectural corner. The resolution explicitly condemns Iran's systematic, long-term non-compliance with its comprehensive safeguards agreement, citing the repeated denial of access to undeclared uranium facilities and ongoing enrichment thresholds that are pushing rapidly toward weapons-grade capability. By escalating the nuclear friction at the exact moment the military backchannel is active, Washington and its European allies are setting the stage for the ultimate endgame: the triggering of the snapback mechanism under UN Security Council Resolution 2231. This mechanism is a diplomatic tripwire. It completely bypasses the traditional Security Council veto power, allowing historical international sanctions to automatically lock back into place without the possibility of a Russian or Chinese bloc. The trap is now closed. If the Iranian regime accepts the diplomatic pause to protect Kharg Island from physical seizure, they swallow the IAEA censure, paving the way for complete international legal isolation and snapback sanctions. If they reject the censure and accelerate enrichment as a counter-move, they break the fragile Gulf ceasefire. This instantly reactivates the U.S. kinetic threat against their entire national energy infrastructure, giving Washington the explicit geopolitical justification it needs to seize their assets. The tactical pause was never an exit ramp. It was simply the tightening of the digital loop. Every single pathway left open to Tehran now leads to an absolute strategic checkmate.